Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wade's Movie World. This is my review of CW's Walker Season 2. So in Season 1, I reviewed every single episode, and with this season, I decided just to review the complete second season as a whole, and from there determine if I like reviewing each individual episode or reviewing the entire season. That way, when Season 3 gets here, I can decide which way I like better. So with all that being said, let's dive into the complete second season of Walker. Season 1 left us on a cliffhanger ending where there was a sniper that was after Walker, and we also learned during the last minute or two of the final episode of the season that there was a mysterious figure who we can tell is a man who is watching something on all these computer monitors, and we see that it is Walker's home. This man has hidden surveillance cameras and audio equipment inside Walker's home. We see there is a camera in Walker's ranch house where he lives with his children. We also see there is a camera watching Liam Walker where he lives. And we also see that even Walker's parents, Bonham and Abeline's house, is being watched and bugged by this man as well. And that is where they end Season 1. Season 2 opens and we see that Captain James has sent Walker's partner, Texas Ranger Mickey Ramirez, undercover to find out who the sniper was that took the shot at Walker and Stan Morrison, but we learned that during the last episode of Season 1 that the sniper was not after Stan, but in fact his target was Texas Ranger Cordell Walker. In Season 2, Mickey is down in Del Rio undercover and is trying to find a link between the sniper that is after Walker and Northside Nation. We learn that Walker and his family are now the target of a man named Thomas Serrano, who is the head of the Northside Nation gang. While Mickey Ramirez is in Del Rio undercover, Walker, Captain James, and Trey Barnett feel like she is in too deep and needs to be pulled out, but she insists that she is fine. Walker is scared for her because he doesn't want what happened to him when he was undercover with Clint West and the Rodeo Kings gang to happen to Mickey undercover with Northside Nation. While Mickey is undercover, she runs into an old friend from years ago before she met Trey and became a ranger, who she had a short fling with, who is in with Northside Nation, and things get complicated because both Mickey and her old friend have old unsettled feelings, and after he gets killed at the hands of Serrano and Northside Nation, she realizes she needs to take a break from the Rangers, and she turns in her badge and firearm to Walker and Captain James and leaves Austin. As far as Walker goes, he and James pick up on the trail where Mickey left off. Serrano is finally arrested for his crimes, but even then things take a turn for the worst. They both learn that Northside Nation is still running the operation even without him there, though Serrano gets out of incarceration on bail and becomes even more of a threat to the Walkers. Walker's family is finally starting to settle down and return to normal after Emily's murder, and finally getting closure after they find out that Stan Morrison and Callie killed Emily. Walker killed Callie, and Stan is sent to prison for his role in Emily's murder. Also, Bonham has revealed to the family that he has cancer, and he is finally swallowing his pride and getting the treatment for it that he needs. But things don't stay quiet for long. The Walkers get a huge but unwelcome surprise when their old neighbors who live on the ranch next to theirs return. The Davidsons, who have always hated the Walkers, but the hatred grew after a fire erupted in the Davidsons' barn when Cordell and Denise were kids, and Gail Davidson's husband Marv was killed in the fire. Now that the Davidsons are back in Austin on their ranch, things get really tense between the two families because of the past. Then things heat up between the kids as they almost get into a vehicle wreck at school with Stella and August, and the cause of the near accident was Colton Davidson, who is Denise and Dan's son, who now goes to the same school as August and Stella. Not only that, but to make matters worse for Walker, Denise is now the new district attorney, taking over for Stan Morrison's job, and the man who was Liam's boss in Season 1 as well. Throughout Season 2, there's a lot of tension between the Walkers and the Davidsons. Dan, at one point, is working with Serrano until he finds out what is really going on and what Northside Nation and Serrano are doing, and then does what he can to help Denise, Cordell, Captain James, and Liam bring down Serrano and Northside Nation. But that does not mean their family feud is over. In fact, things intensify when both the Walkers and Davidsons learn that some of the Walkers' land may in fact belong to the Davidsons, and so to settle this, the only fair way is a horse race between Dan and Cordell through the land, and whoever gets back first wins, and that family takes the entire ranch. The Davidsons end up winning and forcing the Walkers to give up their land and move. But later on they realize that that land does in fact belong to the Walkers legally. Dan learns that his wife Denise cut the leather strap on Cordell's horse saddle, which made the saddle come apart at the very end of the race and made Cordell fall off his horse, and that is how Dan won the race. Dan tells Cordell everything, and Liam, Cordell, and the family do everything they can to get their ranch back. While all of this is happening, Jerry learns from a close family friend about when she was a little girl sick in the hospital when her dad was with her. She learns that she is actually a Davidson, which complicates matters between her and Cordell. She learns that she is the long-lost daughter of Gail Davidson. As Jerry learns about her real heritage, she still loves and adores the Walkers as her real family, but at the same time she wants more information about her own life and that of the Davidsons. She uses her new heritage as a Davidson to get close to Gail and Denise, as the feud between the Walkers and Davidsons has finally reached a boiling point and it is about to explode. Jerry gets answers about the barn fire from years ago in the Walker Season 2 finale. Realizing that Gail knew more than she was letting on, Jerry and Cordell decide to orchestrate a fight. This leads to Jerry gaining some of Gail's trust, leading Gail to taking Jerry out to the barn where it all happened. Gail then confesses to everything and how the fire got started, and it all happened during an argument in the barn between Gail and her late husband Marv. Gail started the fire which killed her husband. To get out of going to jail, she blamed it on Cordell Walker and his family. When all that comes out, Walker drives up and sees the barn on fire and Jerry running out saying that Gail is still in there unconscious. Walker risks his life and goes in and pulls Gail out of the once again burning barn. She tells Walker everything she told Jerry and gets taken off to prison. At the end of the episode, we learn that Captain James has offered Trey Barnett a job as a Texas Ranger. We see Liam, Trey, and Cordell all taking a run through the pasture, and Trey and Liam make it back thinking Cordell already beat them back to the house since he got a head start. Stella just happens to be outside and asks them where her dad is, and they both look at her and then look at each other with this puzzled look and saying, "Wait, he's not back yet?" The camera pans down to a road leading out of the Walker's ranch, and a white cargo van with no windows is shown driving away, and it cuts to a shot of the van's interior, and we see Cordell lying face down in the van unconscious as it drives away. And that is how Walker Season 2 ends. Okay, so let's talk about Season 2. This whole season threw me for a loop and is not at all what I was expecting. There were some good things about this season, but there were tons of things that were just terrible. The more we got into the season, the more pissed off I got at the direction it was taking. The things that I liked were the fact that we start off in Del Rio with Mickey Ramirez undercover with Northside Nation, trying to figure out who the sniper was that shot at Walker and Stan, but was mainly aiming for Cordell, and who this Serrano guy is and how he figures into all of this. I thought this was going to be the major meat of the season, Cordell, Mickey, and Captain James, as well as the rest of the Texas Rangers, going after and taking down and finally bringing an end to Northside Nation and taking down the Serrano character. We did get some of that, and we don't get a whole lot of background on this Serrano guy until almost mid-season, and then in the episode where we do finally meet Serrano, we see what he is up to, and then he gets killed during a high-speed car chase which resulted in a bad car crash which kills Serrano. Then the season shifts, and 95% of its focus and story was to this bullshit feud and hatred between the Walkers and the Davidsons. I mean, they focus more on that than they do Serrano, Northside Nation, and the Walkers' home being bugged by audio and video devices. Plus, some of the characters from season 1 we don't see much of, or they don't have a whole lot to do. They just show up here and there, and they feel like they are there just as time and space fillers in the episodes. I mean, there were some great episodes with great scenes and sequences along with some really good action, but we always kept going back to this stupid family feud. I mean, it was annoying. I felt like I was watching a soap opera on daytime TV like The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful, more than I was watching an hour-long law enforcement action drama on primetime television. I mean, there were times where I was just bored to tears with this season, and times where I really didn't care what was happening. And the way the Davidsons are written, they are written in a way that you really hate them, and that makes you wish that Michael Myers would walk into the scene and slice and stab them as hard as he possibly can. Had something like that happened, I would have been cheering for the Shape and giving him a standing ovation for ending the Davidsons. Stella has a lot going on this season, plus 2 boys, one being Colton Davidson, literally fighting for her love and affection. Plus she's a senior in high school and she's trying to decide if she wants to stick around and go to college in Texas or go to a university in the Pacific Northwest where she has already been accepted to. August did not have a lot to do this season. I just felt like he was there and around just to be there, and the writers didn't really know what to do with him. And I felt like they did the same thing with Abilene Walker. Like August, they really just kind of threw her to the side this season, and whenever they needed her, she would be on screen, and when they didn't, they would be like, okay, we're done with you right now, get the hell out of here. So yeah, I just felt like those 2 characters were wasted this season. Walker gets a new partner who is a Texas Ranger from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Her name is Cassie Perez. She is kind of a jerk at first, but once they let us, the audience, get to know her, she was really interesting, but kind of weird and nerdy as well. But I must say that I really liked her, though I'm not sure if I like her or Mickey Ramirez better. Also, the writers have messed up a character I really liked, and that is Jerry, who runs the Sidestep Bar and Grill. They decided, hey, let's make her a Davidson. And the story behind that is she was given up for adoption by Gail and Marv Davidson, and Jerry learns the truth late in the season. Let's just say that really pissed me off, and that the writers went in that direction with Jerry's character. Unacceptable. They could have done something other than that. And of course, they had to throw in some of the woke LGBTQ shit regarding Liam. Liam has moved on from Brett, though they are still really good friends, but now Liam is interested in someone else who has very close ties to Walker's new partner. If I remember correctly, I think the new guy is brother to Cassie Perez. And for God's sake, why in the hell did we have to go back to the part of Duke Culpepper, Walker's alter ego? And since they did that, they had to bring back his old girlfriend, Twyla Jean. I don't understand why they did that. They showed us in the first season that Twyla Jean is in prison and that Walker burned Duke and buried him, and yet we have to go and dig him back up again. Duke is dead, let him stay that way, and leave Twyla Jean in prison where she freaking belongs. With all of this being said, and after much thought, I'm going to give the 2nd season of CW's Walker a big, fat F. Here are my final thoughts. This season sucked. Big time. It was all over the place, and instead of telling a really aggressive and interesting story, which they could have done with Serrano and Northside Nation, they decided instead to make it a damn drama-filled soap opera. I mean, more than half of the season was just a huge dumpster fire. Whoever the writers are for season 2, they need to be fired, and they need to bring in some writers that know how to write a great law enforcement action adventure TV drama that makes viewers want to watch the show. What we got this season was awful. I really thought that this show would be canceled after season 2 the way it went, but the network has said that there will be a season 3 of Walker. Well, I will say this, if they have another season as bad as this, it will be canceled. And even if it is that bad and they don't cancel it, if season 3 turns out like this season, then I will be done with this iteration of Cordell Walker, Texas Ranger. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to say good night. God bless. I love all of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.